name is Janice LaRoche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Stampin' Up! I thank you for tuning in today. I hope you like today's project. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and click like and comment and let me know how things are. Thank you for watching, and let's get started on today's project. Our project for today is an Easter card. I just did some dry embossing and some coloring with my Wink of Stella pen and ink. And I embossed the envelope. The inside, I have the sentiment and a cross on there. Let me tell you what I used. I used the Easter Promise cling stamp set. I've got one in here. The rest are all on blocks. And I used the Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder to partially emboss. So I just partially embossed the top 2/3, and then I scored underneath it to give it a nice edge, and I stamped that first. So let's get started, and then I'll tell you all the other stuff you need, and I will also have it on my blog, right? So we have to color in a few things, so I don't want to take too long. So first, I did use on my original, I used Gorgeous Grape, but I'm going to use Highland Heather in this one. And I used the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, but I stamped it off one time because I didn't want it too dark. So I stamp it off, and then I stamp on to my little thingy. What to do with the... Oh, there you are. Sorry, got my envelope up there and it's going to fall down. So ink up your flower, and if you want, you can do it this way because it's a rather big stamp and a smaller ink pad. So stamp off and then stamp onto your paper. Right? So that's it for the black. Let's do this now. We will open up our ink pad and take the, oh, there you are. It's like, where did I put it? Take just a small block and put it into your, get some color on it from your ink pad. Well, while I have it open, let me stamp the inner, the smaller bottom piece. Alright. I take the Happy Easter, and I'm going to stamp in the lower right corner. I think this will be dark enough. I didn't want it too dark, so there we go. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Right. So we'll put this aside for now, and I'll show you what I did with this. I took, this is a Wink of Stella pen that had dried up, ran out. I take them apart, and there is always stuff inside. And I put them in here with 2/3 alcohol and 1/3 water. And I just keep filling it up. I have probably about 5 empty ones of these in here. And see, they're not empty. So you can still get lots out of it. So when I put the tube in there and shake it out from the inner here, I put it back in and I fill it up with alcohol. So, oops. Let me see this. I didn't clean this off. I still have purple on it. Sorry. Should have cleaned it off. I just did the sample. So, yeah, that'll do. Right. So, all I do is I drip a little bit of my alcohol in here from the pen. just a tiny bit, and you can see the sparkles in it, right? And then I color my flowers. Are these crocuses? I think they're called crocuses. I see them in yellow too, so I did do some yellow ones too. They came out pretty as well. So just color your flowers like so. You don't have to be neat because we're going to cut this out. So if you go over the edge, it's not going to matter too much, as long as you're not going into where it's supposed to be green. And just color. Yeah, just don't put any purple in where the stems are. Alright. I have a little bit of a line there. I don't like that. Let's fill that in. There. It's better. There we go. So that one's dark and light. Alright, so then just wipe it off on a paper towel if you have one handy. I don't have one handy. And then we're going to take, I could have used the ink. I could use like a Granny Apple green ink, but I had these handy, so I figured and it's easier to get down these tiny stems with the green. And I'm just going to use the dark one for quickness to show you how I did it. Alright, so you're just coloring all these stems in, right? Like I said, it doesn't matter if you go out because you're going to cut it out anyway. I don't usually keep that part. I cut through that, right? And you can do a little bit there, right? And then take your pen again and just sort of go over to get some Winkle on that as well. There. So I don't know if you can see that, right? Then just take your scissors and cut. So I just fussy cut around like so, right? And then when you're done, you will have, through the magic of video, something like so. I'll use that one on another one. All right, so that is done and this is done. All right, now this piece of, this will be a facing, so it will be the top of your card, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5. The So Saffron measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go underneath. And then your card base, of course, measures, and this is Thick Whisper White. It measures 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and is scored at 4 1/4, and fold it and burnish it right there. So that is your card base. All right, then I have some gems. I just flicked one on my arm. That was nice. All right. These are the glitter gems. And of course the embossing folder, the Easter Promise. I have this twine from the celebration. It was a free item in the celebration. You got this and the Bermuda Bay one, I believe, was the other color with the sequins as the free thing, but they don't have it anymore. But I'm using that to tie around my flowers. Okay, so let's do our card here. I'll put these aside and I'll show you how I did this. So I took my thingy, where's the folder? All right. And the reason I stamped that first is because I wanted to literally see exactly where I need to stop. So you put it in and you leave this part out. So that would be good right there. So I'm going to put it in and emboss this section right here. I could bring it over, but I don't know how much of it you'll see. Let's see. Right. Put our folder in like so. I usually spritz it with either water, oops, sorry, hit the camera, either water or my spray over there, and I didn't this time. I just left it to dry, but it's still beautiful. Look at that gorgeous impression. I think it's stunning. What a beautiful, especially on the white. I just love it. All right, so now what I did was I took my trimmer and I turn it over this way because I wanted the other part sticking down. And you line up here and here, and you make sure you're just using your scoring tool and go over it a few times. There we go. Should be good, should be good. And it gives you a beautiful edge. So that's our front. Right? Now we're just going to assemble our card. So I put this on dimensionals. Well, let me tie this first. What I did was I just held on to some over to the left so that I have enough to tie a bow. Then I went around a few times and I have enough to tie a bow on that side. All right. Let me just, and it's doubled because I wanted a pretty double bow. So let's just tie this. Now, if you want more flowers than this, you could put, you know, a few layers of these flowers. I have a scan and cut too, and I cut out a whole bunch earlier. This one I cut by hand, but because I used all the ones I cut earlier. All right, let's just leave that down, and we'll trim it. Where's those scissors? I'm going to trim it off about there. Get rid of that. So I had about 24 inches of the twine, right? And that's our bow. And dimensionals. We'll put one on each flower here. Peel off the backs. Right. And I think I'll put a little bit of glue at the bottom here just to hold it down. See if you were working. No, probably not. Can I get a wee bit of glue? There we go. Just a tiny tad of glue. Nail polish is coming off. And let's put that down like so. And hold this for a second so the little stem holds down there. Alright, so that's our card front. Then I'm just going to take some snail, or you can use liquid glue if you like. Whatever you want to use. I will have all the measurements and everything for this card on my blog. Let's line this up. I like the colors, so saffron and Highland Heather together. The yellow and purple. I think it's pretty. But I'm a nut for subtle colors. I just love the subtle color family. I'm sure we all have our favorites. Right, I've got tape everywhere. Well, before I stick that down, let me do this. All right, we have our verse for the inner, and we have the little cross that we're going to put down on the bottom. That way if I make a mistake, I can get another one real quick. So always do your inking up first, and your stamping rather. So stamp. Right, and I put the cross down in the lower corner. There we go. So yeah, came out good. Clean those off in a sec. Put this way. Now put our card on the front. I think that's pretty. It's easy card, but it looks elegant, right? I think embossing just does that to it. I think it just makes the card. All right, so that is that. Then I took some yellow. I'll take these ones. How about I do the brighter yellow ones? I'll do 3 of this size. And one more. I've got glue on my finger. There we go, a Happy Easter card. And it has, "May the promise of His wonderful gift fill your heart with peace and joy." This is a beautiful set. I think the words are pretty, and the font, I love it. And the flowers. So, and it's not Easter Bunny or something like that for somebody you want to send it to that is not into Easter eggs or Easter bunnies. So this is quite pretty. So I thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my video hop, which will be coming up on the 6th of April. So pretty soon, 6 more days. And we were doing the all dressed up dies. So stay tuned for that. I'll have all the people listed below that you can click on their names too. Please like and subscribe as always, and leave me a comment or two. You all have a great evening and stay safe, and hope nobody's sick. Take care. Bye-bye.